literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks. I'm saving up my dough, watching it grow. No more wasting money on things I don't really know. Financial smarts, that's my new swag. Investing wisely, no more burning cash, I'm building wealth. $1 at a time, going from broke to living the life that's prime.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another episode of Future Financial Strategies. First and foremost, we want to give a shout out to the sponsor of the show. Actually, let me adjust my light in here. There we go. We can hit it. We can hit the light up a little bit now. Delta Investment Tracker app. If you are not tapped in with them, there is a link down below in the description of the video where you can let them know that you found them via your boy Reckless Ray Dinero over here. And yeah, we're gonna. Oh, geez, I got all kinds of stuff going on right now. I got things happening. There we go. That's it. That's what we're looking for. There we go. Just right there. Obviously, I'm flipping around my video structure since I'm recording today. We've had a very tragic event happen in the United States of America, which is where I report from, the market that I talk about, where I live. We had an assassination attempt on President Donald Trump. Completely deplorable, completely unacceptable. Regardless of how you feel about politics, we do not start shooting at ideas. That's probably not a great thing to do. But we're going to have to speak on it because it has already affected the markets, because this pretty much sums up kind of where things are going as far as the presidency goes, and therefore the markets are responding. Actually, it's not unfortunately, considering that he is okay. He's continuing his tours. He's continuing his rallies. He is unfazed. But the market is responding because we're going to be in a better monetary environment, most likely, which is good for, obviously, those of us who have assets. I honestly think a better monetary environment will be good for the citizenry as well. One of the few times that the stars have aligned and everybody is going to be in a better place regardless of how they feel about the outcome. And yeah, so the markets have responded positively. It's looking like we're going to open up on Monday with some positive response in the markets as well. I'm looking at the crypto space because that's what goes 24/7 regardless. And my portfolio is tied to the crypto space. So like I can make some assumptions based on how we do on Sundays, how my portfolio anyway is starting on Mondays. Those of you who are not tied to crypto could be different, but it seemed like across the board, the market sentiment has been on the positive side. So that's going to get that little blurb out of the way. There's not too much more to say about that aside from it's a sad day for the country. It was a sad day for the country. It was a sad event. It is a terrible, terrible state of affairs that we've come to where people feel like that's the answer. And yeah, so moving on to the meat and potatoes of the episode, we're going to talk about credit as income strategy. Now, I came up with this idea for this show specifically because it seems that the way it's being portrayed in the media is people, and it seems to be the actual case, that people are using credit to substantiate their lifestyles. They're using credit as an income source. And me personally, I use credit as an income source, but I use credit as an income source differently. I use it the way that wealthy people use credit. And obviously at low level credit, we're talking credit cards, we're talking HELOCs, We're talking any like Cash App, cash advances, the little cash advance services that you can have that not necessarily go into the payday loan place. So I would never do that. That is a setup. But utilizing the tools that are available, because Cash App has a cash advance mechanism that you can borrow from and pay back. I'm pretty sure that there are some others that are tied to the internet banking accounts because it's a good way for them to make money, because honestly, those are traps too if you don't know how to use the tools appropriately. Fortunately, over here in the Wolfpack, we do. And we do. So I wanted to do an episode on credit as an income strategy. Now, the reason it's credit as an income strategy is because it's not using your credit to go buy things. It's not using your credit to go buy new Jordans. It's not using your credit to go buy rims, a new stereo, sound system upgrades. We don't use credit for those things over here in the Wolfpack. We are gearing ourselves to use credit as the tool it was intended to be utilized for, which allows us to build wealth faster. So everything for me when it comes to credit at this juncture, when it comes to large purchases, I do those out of my in-home banking and the Cash App hybrid play, because that's what I would consider my money. The reason being is Cash App, they're charging me 2.75% or something like that. I charge myself 10%. So whenever I need to make a large purchase, I have a pool of money utilized for that within reason. I'm also actively utilizing that same pool of money right now to accelerate. We're doing the velocity banking, so we are utilizing all income sources, and we're utilizing it for that. But what I use my credit cards for, I leverage my credit cards, like obviously day-to-day bills, those things go on the credit cards. Gas goes on the credit card. I'm not in the camp of credit is bad. I love credit. Credit's awesome if you know how to use it. It is just a tool. The tool is neither good or bad. It is based on the individual using it. If you don't know how to use a hammer and you're using a hammer inappropriately, it's probably going to end bad. It's probably going to be a bad experience, and you would be, based on the way these gurus in these financial spaces look at things, you would be under the impression that all hammers are terrible and no one should use a hammer for anything, including hitting nails. If you got to hit a nail, you go find something else, a harder board, a rock, anything but a hammer, because hammers are terrible. Because I used hammers one time, I didn't use it right, and I hurt myself. And now I hate hammers. That's the logic that these people have. And unfortunately, it's the logic that people have. Honestly, they have a bad experience with something that they didn't know how to use, and they just hate all of it. Just doesn't work. It can't work. It didn't work for me. Maybe you're just not intelligent enough to use the tool appropriately. Maybe you didn't use the tool right. Maybe you got bad guidance. Blame yourself before you blame the tool. Make sure you use the tool in the way that it was said to be used. Attain the knowledge first. Try it out, then give feedback. Don't use something wrong and then be mad that you used whatever it was wrong. And I feel like when we talk about credit, there are two different viewpoints on credit. Actually, I'm going to say there's more than two. There's probably a few, because I feel like I have like kind of a hybrid viewpoint on credit. But I go based off what I see people who are doing way better than me, that have the lives and lifestyles that I would like, utilize credit. And it's not to buy things generally. It is for bills, front running. You can collect points, but you're paying it back immediately. You're not carrying the balance to buy things. Now, when I get into where I would carry a balance, I've spoken on this many a times. I will definitely carry a balance to invest more into the market. 100%. I'll front run and get my immediate cash because of the time value of money. I pay my credit cards back in dollars. I do not pay my credit cards back in Bitcoin. I do not pay my credit cards back in assets of any kind. I pay them back in dollars. So when I'm paying the credit card back on those balances, yes, it's 27%, but also those dollars are cheaper to me because I'm buying assets with my credit. I'm allowing myself to invest more heavily up front, because later on down the road, those assets have gone up in value. Those assets are now producing income, and now I'm paying my credit back with cheaper dollars than the ones that I spent initially. It's called the time value of money. If you are not familiar, I suggest you familiarize yourself. It's an important concept. Might do another episode where I just break down the time value of money, so that way we can just have it out there in the ethosphere so that people have it. I'm pretty sure I've done an episode on it, but I feel like once a year revisiting what the time value of money is and why it's so important to your financial future, your financial existence, and your financial life. I feel like that's a good revisit. Moving on. So I do utilize credit myself. I utilize it for paying initial bills, upfront expenses, upfront everything is on the credit, and then I pay it back with cash flow. Where credit as an income strategy comes in is I also, as you get better credit, as you get your credit score up, the reason I tell people you should have the credit score game, your gurus will tell you it doesn't matter what your credit is. And sure, it doesn't after you're rich. After you're rich and you can just buy anything cash, sure, maybe your credit doesn't matter. But if you're building wealth and you're utilizing all the tools possible to streamline it and do it as quickly and as expediently as possible, because you're not trying to wait till you're 70 to retire and then live for 5 to 10, maybe 10 good years to enjoy that wealth that you've accumulated with your head down working because you had to wait till you could get access to your 401k or your Roth without suffering penalty. You probably want to use credit, which means you're going to want a good credit score, which means you're going to have to play the game. It's a financial algorithm. It is a game. It's a gamified system. Obviously, it incentivizes people to spend money that they don't have, but you could also just spend money that you have to build the credit up. And the reason you would do that is because at a certain point, they start giving you balance transfer opportunities. They start sending you blank checks for balance transfers for 0 or to very minuscule interest, under 1%, 0.99%, 1% over a certain duration. And what we do over here in the Wolfpack is I advocate for depositing those checks into your bank account and buying assets. Now, you got to do the math on this. For me personally, at this juncture, I am buying assets that are well going up to clear the 4.5%, because there's always like a 4.5, a 3, I'd say a 3 to 6% one-time fee for the balance transfer on the balance that you're transferring. So you have to look at that as well in regards to the return on the investment, but we're not paying it back with the asset. So I'm not cashing the asset out ever. I'm buying the cash flow. I'm using the cash flow to pay back that balance. I'm using the cash flow to chunk into that balance to get it paid off as fast as humanly possible. And then I continue to have the income generated by the asset that I purchased until I decide I don't want it anymore. Now, for me, that's going into a brokerage account. I'm doing high income dividend investing, not in high income dividend stocks. We're doing ETFs that are actually people working in the market doing the same trading that I'm doing in my options portfolio. It's just they're probably better at it than I am. They've been doing it longer. So I'm trusting the expertise there. I put it into funds that seem to be performing well. It is something that's actively managed. There's no such thing as 100% passive income. There's management involved in literally everything. And that is something that I enjoy. That's a type of management I enjoy doing. I like going into my portfolio. I like tweaking it to make sure I'm getting the maximum amount I can get every month. I like checking the performance. I like making sure that my portfolio positions are working as hard as they possibly can for me and the goals. And the reason your credit matters is because they won't give you those offers if you don't have good credit. Like if you have good credit, they want to give you money. They want to incentivize you to use it. The other thing is, I don't believe in just having a high credit score just to have a high credit score. Having a high credit score means nothing if it's not for a purpose. Like you're saying that you're just a really good consumer. Like that's insane. But again, the tool that is credit needs to be used appropriately. Now, this is going to be a shorter episode because I'm not gonna drag this out. But the tool needs to be used appropriately. Now, the way that the common man, we're going to break down the way that the common man uses credit. The average Joe, the brokey on the street corner, your friend who seems to have the life that anyone could dream of, but he doesn't get to sleep well at night because he owes money on every single thing you see him flossing and flexing in your face, telling you that you're a brokey, when he has actually got a negative net worth and honestly is going to leave a vacuum for his family if he were to expire immediately today, because he does not have enough assets to cover his debt. Then they got to do a fish fry. They got to figure out how to get him in the ground. And it's a bad experience, but he looks like he's winning. He looks like he has everything. Oh, he's on the boat. Oh, he's on the plane. Oh, he's traveling around the world telling me how terrible my life is and enjoy going to work, and I'm on vacation and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And then he comes back and he can't sleep at night because he's getting calls. You owe us money. Where's the money at? Where's my money? That's how the common man uses credit. They use it to keep up with the Joneses because, in fact, a lot of people are not making what they claim to be making. They're not making what they expound that they're making. They don't have what they say they have. They have this false, easy money additional. They're using their credit card as an additional bank account. Like, oh, I'm broke. No, I'm not. I got this Visa. I got this Chase Preferred that I can get some points on. I got a whole pool. I got another $8,000. I'm not broke. I'm not broke. I got another $8,000 I can tap into. I got another $10,000 I can tap into. I got another $15,000 I can tap into. And that's what they're using it for. They're using it to buy stuff to impress people that don't like them, that don't care about their situation, to make people think that they've got it. Make them believe that, hey, this guy's got it together. That's what they're using credit for. Now, the wealthy, I'm going to flip it now. The wealthy are using credit. They're gaming the point system. They have the money. They swipe the credit card, and they're using the credit card to purchase the everyday things that they need, do their large purchase, but they're paying the credit card back. They're not paying they're not paying interest on these cards. They have the money to pay it back. They're just using the credit card as upfront money. Makes sense. Now, for those of us who are getting it out the mud, those of us who are your everyday, I don't make six figures, I'm building my wealth, I've got aspirations of general wealth or generational wealth. I've got aspirations of retiring early or leaving the workforce early. I don't believe in retirement. I got aspirations of not having to go to these jobs that we hate, to deal with these people that just really maybe don't deserve to be, they're not good leaders. Maybe what you want to do pays a lot less money, but you can't afford to go do what you want to do because you need that check. So you can't contribute to society in the way that you would want to with something that matters to you, because you got to go get the highest paying job. I gotta go be in STEM. I gotta go get this. I gotta go get this job. I gotta go get this degree in business management to have debt for forever and not be able to pay it back. I gotta go do this. I gotta go do that. I'm trying over here in the Wolfpack, we're trying to eliminate the I gotta, and we're trying to move into a space of I want to. So I think that would be pretty awesome. That's a good target, is to wake up and go, I want to go to this place. I want to go into this job. I want to be here. I want to exist in this space. I want to live in this neighborhood, in this state, in this country. I want to be able to do what it is that I want to do and contribute in a fashion that I see as being valuable to society and myself. I want to be fulfilled. I want to. Those of us who are working our way to I want to, we've got to use every tool available. So I'm going to posit a strategy, the way that I use my credit cards and my good credit, to help fast track that. I use my credit cards for the cash advances. Mostly. Now, strategically moving forward, like obviously I had to, because like before I was just getting cards because I was under the impression that you had to get good credit just to get good credit. And that was the way that stuff worked. And that was how we did things. And I just willy-nilly got these credit cards. Fortunately, I got a couple of good ones that serve this purpose in the hopper, and then I've added another one and another what is it? Let me gosh, I'm having brain farts today. And another card that's the daily driver. So I did add a Chase Slate this year, and I added a Chase preferred for travel. Like I wanted to experiment with a travel point system and travel card. I honestly think that we're probably going to be moving to an American Express as a daily driver. Just because, like, I mean, it's a card that I want to flex. It's a flex card, and I think within the next year or two, because I'm done with cards this year, so it won't be this year, but probably with next year, if I add a card, it will be that, because I will be in a space to where I can pay the outlandish fee for membership, but I will use it as a daily driver literally for everything, and everything else will be some form of a balance transfer within something. Just because like the Chase seems to have a lot of benefits. It's a flex card. It's good for travel. It's good for a bunch of stuff. They have like a bunch of other perks that are within there, and I'm looking to be traveling more. So it's going on it's great internationally. Like it's going to be the daily driver for once I start experimenting on making these moves outside of the US and within the US, because I'm planning on going to a lot more conferences. Like my goal is to be knocking out. So next year, my goal is to knock out at least 2, one industry related the industry that I'm currently in, and then one that's going to be specific to an industry that I'm looking to expand to, or that I am participating in either as an investor or something. So it could be a tech conference and a Bitcoin conference or something of the like. I'm looking to do both of those. I'm also looking to go scout out and see what's going on over in Japan. I am looking to take that trip just to look, see what the real estate looks like, what the culture's like, see if that's somewhere that I would like to, set up a satellite location. And I think those are going to be I'm planning on 1 trip, 2 conferences next year. And yeah, we'll see. Because I think I'm lined out right now to be going to 1 conference this year. I had the injury, so the trip out of the country is not going to be happening. And the other conference that I was going to go to, I'm also the injury impeded that. But those are the things that we're looking at, and it's so the way that I utilize it is I use those cash advances to bulk buy assets. I will take out anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 in a cash advance off a card. I will put that directly into the market, generating income. I will take that income, start using it immediately to repay back that loan, pay the loan down as fast as possible, rinse and repeat. Now, once we get all the debt that we currently have outstanding, which is $16,000, just at $16,000, a little bit over $16,000. Once we have cleared that debt, the next play is we're going to be living out of our income portfolio, which means all the money until we do that cash advance goes into the income portfolio, and then you just repay everything. Obviously, you'll have your daily driver credit card. I'll still be putting purchases on that, but it gets paid off every single month, because every single month I will have all of my bills paid out of the income account. So everything that I spend should be coming out of that income account, and then you just keep funneling every single dollar that comes in into that account, and you do all your investments, all your repayments of bills. Everything will come out of that income stream that we're generating, which will be ever growing. That's the goal, is just to constantly have more coming into the hopper. Every single paycheck goes into that until you get to a point to where all of your expenses and investments, because I don't look at it as I just need to be able to continue existing off this pool of money. There's got to be a contingency in there where you're consistently growing the pool of money. So my budgeted amount that comes out of my check for investments is part of my necessary expenditure money that I have to get out of my portfolio. And then you also have to factor in taxes, which are lower than regular income tax. It's lower than W-2 tax. That's another thing that they don't tell you. And as that pool of money grows, you should be able to start doing whatever you want, because then it's like your paycheck money. That's when I'm like, okay, max out your 401k. Okay, max out the HSA. Okay, do all these tax benefit things so that way you're not getting taxed hardly anything on that income, because you're paying it out of your income money anyways. The income portfolio is everything. I will invest most of my W-2 money. I won't need it. It's just whatever's left, spending cash. That's pocket money. Go cash that check every day. I'll go cash that check, because all of the investments will be handled. All of your bills are handled. Everything. Like, now you're working for spending money. That's the bar money. You go to work, you invest in your 401k, whatever else, max it out then, because at that point you were putting you're in a tax bracket where you're not getting money back anyway. So like now you're trying to save. That's when the 401k becomes strategically something that I'll be interested in. That's when a Roth becomes strategically something I'll be interested in. That's when actually the HSA, I am strategically interested in that now. It's definitely something that I look at regularly, and we will be adding to that as well. I keep that, but like the 401k, I think I'm done with it. I'm probably cashing mine out to put in the income portfolio. I'd rather have that money now. I'll take the hit on it. I'll make it back. But moving forward, the 401k pretty much dead to me until I get to that point to where I'm traveling and I'm working for pocket money. At that point, we're going to revisit what we're going to do with stuff. But like, as it sits right now, that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, so credit is an income strategy. I don't think that, I think it would be better, because like obviously I'm adding to those numbers myself because I do utilize my credit. The difference being is I'm utilizing my credit, and when I'm taking out chunks of debt, adding to the national average, I'm using it to buy assets. So on the flip side, my net worth is going up, my income is going up per month, and then I'm paying the debt back. I'm not utilizing it to go buy things. And I think that shift and that pivot for those of us who are still grinding, who are still working our way to that first $1 million in net worth, working your way to that first $10,000 in net worth, working your way to that first $100,000 in net worth, that first $500,000, that first $250,000, utilizing credit in the appropriate fashion, using the tools that we have available to us, is pivotal in doing that before you're 70. And we're gonna leave it on that. I hope you let me know what you guys think in the comments. How are you guys utilizing your credit? Are you part of the national average? Are you up to your eyeballs in debt? Are you able to repay it? Like what are we talking about? Let's talk about it down in the comments. Also, if you found value, definitely give the video a like. It lets me know that you guys like these videos. The ones that get more likes, obviously, I'll dial more into that content style like that. Like, let me know what you thought. You can also give feedback down in the comments. I love feedback. I love talking to you guys. Also, share this with your friends. Over here in the Wolfpack, we got plenty of room in the Wolfpack. We're not trying to get rich by ourselves. Till next week, folks, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are out. Peace.
Money on my mind. Yeah. Focus, got no time for games. Nah, I don't play it, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.